Welcome back to the Fan Cave Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Bluedorn. We got a lot to talk about today after a wild weekend of college and NFL football. Let's get right into it. We have two new guests on because, unfortunately, our Alabama man, Landon Stidham, is too scared to come on the show today. He couldn't make it. I think he had some work stuff come up, but he is not with us today, unfortunately, after the big loss. It's kind of a interesting situation why he's not on the show today, but we'll leave that for another time. But we have two guests joining us. Directly below me is my dad, Pete Bluedorn. Next to him, we have the Southern fan man himself, Mr. Brad Perry. And always on the show, my co-host, the guy behind the tech of this whole operation, the guy who is kind of the evil genius in the background, Mr. Debo Mills, light-skinned champion, Dylan Bluedorn. Dylan Bosch, I'm sorry.
What's happening?
All right, boys, how are we doing today?
Doing good, man. Super excited.
I feel like my dad right now looks like a coin, like the side of George Washington's face on the coin. That's what he looks like right now. All right, let's move on. No, here we go. All right, here we go. So let's dive into our first topic of the day. We got to talk about it. I have the shirt on to prove it. Let's see. Here we go. Alabama losing to Tennessee. Dad, I know you watched the game. I want to hear your take on the game and what you thought. And is Tennessee legit like everybody else thinks they are? What's your take on it, Dad? What do you think on Bama, Tennessee?
Yeah, I didn't get to see all of the game, but yeah, they're legit. They did everything they needed to do to hang around and win the game. Yeah. I was. You know me, I was watching more of the Gopher game, and I got disappointed in that. But, Tennessee looked good.
Yeah, no, definitely. Brad, I have to ask you about a certain individual that you have not been very high on this year. You've kind of been not hater, but you've kind of wanted to see him prove more to you. I know this game meant a lot to you, but you got to talk about Hendon Hooker. Is he finally a Heisman finalist, that Heisman guy in your eyes? And also, I want to give me your take and recap of the game and what you think was the keys and your favorite things of the game.
Yeah, man. I think it's absolutely it's probably no secret at this point. I'm a big Cats fan, so I guess at the beginning of the year, you always hear Tennessee hype. It's just always something that you always hear being in the SEC. It's always, oh, this is Tennessee's year, and usually you're just kind of like, okay, whatever. So that's kind of where my dismissive attitude came from. Of Hendon Hooker, I definitely was very critical of him. I thought he was a system quarterback at best. And, well, every game he's done nothing but prove me more and more wrong. I think he had 385 yards passing today, or this game, with 5 or 6 touchdowns. He was averaging like 12.8 yards of completion. So I definitely had to eat my words on that one. I definitely had to put him in the Heisman at this point. The biggest thing that I was waiting for was, can Hendon Hooker win a game that Tennessee's not supposed to win but had a chance to? So like the Florida game, everyone thought Florida was going to lose to Tennessee. Everyone thought Tennessee had the better team this year, so on and so forth. But these are the kind of games where Heisman moments happen. And it happened. I mean, he went out there. Yeah, I think we all saw, I'm pretty sure it was like, what was it, an 82-yard strike to what's his last name? What's that receiver we were talking about?
Hyatt?
Yes, Kevin Hyatt. I mean, literally 5 touchdowns, just him. I definitely have to eat my words, man. I'm gonna have to go ahead and give him the nod right there. He definitely put him on the Heisman list. Yeah. On this one, I took an L, man. He proved me wrong, but hey, it's good football. And as far as the game's concerned, wow, man, what a college football game.
Yeah, game of the year. No, everybody's saying game of the year. It really was game of the year. It was incredibly fun to watch. I do think I want to say this right now. I don't have Hendon Hooker as my Heisman favorite. I know everybody's going to go nuts and say he's a Heisman favorite. C.J. Stroud has done that thing every single game so far this year.
C.J. Stroud, man.
He's still the favorite on right now. He's still on 4 touchdowns a game, 3 a game. I think this is the first game Hendon Hooker had more than 2 touchdowns in a game. I think it was this week. I think it was the first time all season. So he's definitely in the mix, but I don't think he's the favorite right now. Devo, what do you think about the game? I wish we had Landon on, man. It kind of drives me nuts that he couldn't make it on today. But what's your take, Devo? I know you wanted to give Landon the business today.
It was expected. I don't know what anyone else thought was gonna happen.
Oh yeah, it was expected.
Bryce Young really isn't the truth. I know, I'm just playing. It was actually a really good game. Honestly, both sides were just, their offenses were on fire. We really saw that Hendon Hooker looked so composed, dude. Like Bama kept throwing stuff at him, and he just kept standing up in the pocket and just making plays happen. And I like the confidence I saw from that team, and that crowd was absolutely electric. Like, that looks like one of the most fun environments you could possibly go to in a college atmosphere.
Yeah, no, like I said, I know a lot of people that were at the game. Like, I know Brooklyn, a lot of people that know that were at the game, and it was wild. I mean, every Snapchat she had of the story was somebody right next to the goalpost. They were carrying it out. The pregame was nuts. I mean, it was their Super Bowl for Tennessee, and they were out and they showed it in full force. There are people that aren't even Tennessee big fans that were just new of the game and how big the hype was. They went to the game and stood outside the stadium and watched it in bars in Knoxville. I'm sure they're still probably partying today. I'm sure they still are probably the most hungover individuals probably in the country right now because of it. Dad, I don't know what's going on, but that is a wild scene you got going down there. But I want to talk about this. Tennessee is, I think they're legit. People are saying that, didn't play a perfect game. I don't know what happened there. I left the screen.
That was my bad. I was trying to pull this background up.
Oh no, you're good. But all I know is Tennessee is 100% legit because they didn't play a perfect game. In the fourth quarter, Alabama had a scoop and score on a bad Hendon Hooker tried to pull a fake out on a read option late in the game, and they fumbled it and they ran in for a touchdown. And I thought right then and there Bama was going to win the game. I thought the momentum was fully on their side. I thought it was done. But I do think that after that game, Hendon Hooker showed the poise to get on the field and take care of business and to rally his team. Their defense showed up late. It came down to a kicker, Will Reichard, missing a field goal, and there's making one. But I do think Tennessee showed resiliency in that game, and they're legit, man. I hope they go to when they play Georgia. I'm not sure if it's in Tennessee or in Georgia, but whenever they play each other, I'm gonna be a big Tennessee fan. I'm gonna be rocking with Rocky Top on that Saturday for sure.
I think these are the kind of games where I talked about this on my show a little bit. There's moments in SEC history where certain teams take the next step to become a powerhouse for the next decade or so. You have a couple examples would be Florida beating Ohio State in 2006 to win the national championship, of overtaking Ohio State's reign as kind of the team of that era. Then Florida was really the team from about 2006 to 2010, where then Alabama really kind of took their passing of the torch moment from there and on till about when Georgia won last year. This game last Saturday, was one of those games where I would not be surprised if we look back in 3 or 4 years and see this as being the game where Tennessee finally took the step as being the next team in the SEC to grab the torch and kind of take on, being one of the top teams in the conference for the next 3 to 4 years. And I mean, why would you not, man? Passionate fan base, money on money from the program. Now you're winning football games you're supposed to. You got an offense that's fun, scores a lot. You got a coach who knows how to call plays. Man, that was an amazing scene. That's one of the best football games I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, no doubt. It's cool too to see South Dakota doesn't get a lot of recognition when it comes to sports very often because we only got 800,000 people in the whole entire state. We don't produce that much. Me and Devo talked about it last show, how we do have some guys, but we don't have a ton. My dad actually brought it up to me, and I knew I didn't know it before, but he brought it up to me and said that Josh Heupel, the Tennessee head coach, is a South Dakota guy, played for Aberdeen, South Dakota. And Dad, I think you said you even watched him play. You watched him play in college a time or two.
Yeah, I've seen him play a few times. He was a real good quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. My dad said that. I talked to him before the show, and he said that he lives in Watertown, which is an hour south of where Josh played high school football, and he said that there's kind of a little bit of buzz going on like the radio and stuff about the win, and people are kind of excited because of him being a South Dakota guy. That like even around the country in the Midwest, there's some hype about Tennessee. It's kind of cool to see. None of us are Tennessee fans, but we're Josh Heupel fans. That's pretty cool to see that there's some recognition coming from there. So this one means a little more to South Dakota because of that reason. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right, let's dive into. Let's go.
What do you think about this?
What?
You guys think this is something? Do you guys think there's any validity to this?
No, Hendon Hooker's not the front runner. Jalen Hyatt, no. Jalen Hyatt he had one good game. But one thing I do want to say is I do think Jalen Hyatt made some money this weekend. I think that he's going to get looked at on draft boards probably because of this game. But I do not think he's not a Heisman favorite. Hendon Hooker's not the Heisman favorite. C.J. Stroud is, but Hendon Hooker is, I think, in the top 2 or 3 getting talked about right now, especially with the next game we're going to talk about. Caleb Williams with a big loss. I think that does kind of move Hendon Hooker in that conversation as well. But I do not think he's a front runner because C.J. Stroud has been doing it week in, week out for Ohio State.
I also just think it's so hard for a receiver to win the Heisman. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, no one was talking about Jalen Hyatt. Everyone was talking about Cedric Tillman. And then he gets injured, and now everyone's talking about Jalen Hyatt. And that shows, like, Tennessee's got a great offense. But, like, this is kind of one of those scenarios where if anyone's going to win the Heisman from that team, it's going to be Hendon Hooker. It's kind of the Joe Burrow effect when he had Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. You got 2 really good receivers who both arguably you could say are the best receiver in their conference or in the country. But you do have the man running the show who's going to get all the credit at the end of the day. And Hendon Hooker, I mean, I tell you what, if it was Joe Mixon or whatever, Joe Milton, whatever his name is, I don't think it'd be him putting up all these numbers. So he'll win it if anybody will, not Jalen Hyatt.
When do they vote for Heisman, before or after the playoffs?
Before.
I think it's before.
Yeah, it's right after the conference champions, I think.
Yep.
That's too bad because they should wait till after the playoffs to do that one.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of part of the week leading up to it. I think is like they have the Heisman deal the week off.
I think that Ohio State's going to get rolled in the playoffs. I do think that.
By who?
I don't really know yet. It depends on how the seeding works and everything. But I think pretty much any of the SEC. I think either Georgia or Tennessee or Bama, if any of them play them, probably going to roll them. But SEC East is a toss-up. We don't know who's going to win between Tennessee and Georgia. We got to see first. I mean,
and you never know, man. Somebody else could come up in the SEC too and have a big upset in one of the games too. You never know.
Maybe in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hitting at.
Preferably October 29th, 7 o'clock.
I'm helping you out there, Brad. Heck yeah. All right, let's dive into the USC game. I don't know if you guys got to watch much of it because of it being a West Coast game, but this is the reason why I thought Utah was going to be Utah this year, is because I thought Utah was the one team that could give USC a game this year. And Utah showed up and played some football for the first time all year. Brad, what was your take on USC, where they can go forward? What's going to happen for them after this loss to Utah? And maybe even the recap of the game, what do you got for us on USC?
I'll tell you what, something that I was always kind of hesitant on, I'm sure all of us were, was USC's defense.
Yeah.
And if you look at Utah's offensive production leading up to this game, it really hasn't been that impressive. And so the fact that they hung 40-plus on USC basically just proved everybody right. And being the fact that if you took Caleb Williams off USC, I don't think they're not a bad team, but they're definitely not going to be – they wouldn't be undefeated up until this point, and they definitely would not be in the top 10. But they were. They were undefeated, and you can't argue like the same reason why UCLA's up there. When you win football games, eventually you earn respect. But I do think that this is the real USC. I think I'm not going to call them a fraud because I think they won those games before. They played in a lot of very ugly football games that they just put out the victories, and that's a big deal. But I wasn't buying the hype all year. I understand why it was there. I think USC's 1 year away from truly being a contender. I think that honestly, and this is a hot take, I don't think Caleb Williams is doing anything more impressive than what Jackson Dart did at USC last year. I think they look like the same exact quarterback. Just one person knows how to call plays and the other one doesn't. I think that's the biggest difference, in my opinion, is coaching.
Yeah.
But
and it stinks for Lincoln Riley. I'm a big Lincoln Riley guy, but I've said since the very first show we talked about USC, he has the same D coordinator. It's Oklahoma over again. It's the same exact thing. Great offense. They're good in games when they can get an early lead, and then they blow, and then they can hold on to it. They're a good offense. Well, this week they had an early lead against Utah, but their defense couldn't keep them in the game. They had every chance to win that game. They were winning from the jump, getting ready to rock and roll, and they just didn't have it, man. I know, and I want to say this too. Lincoln Riley worked on his offense in the transfer portal this first year. He got Travis Dye. He got what's the wide receiver's name? I can't think of his name. It's insane. Anyway, we all know what I'm talking about. He got the transfers in. They built it up. Their offense is looking good. He's an offensive guy, but give him one more year, or maybe a year or two, to put some guys on the defensive side, and maybe they can do something. But that defense looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
Dad, what do you think about USC? Do you think they can still find a way in the playoff? What do you think about USC? Did you watch the game at all? What do you think?
To speed up your show here, I'll help you out there. I don't even know who won the game, so I don't follow. I don't follow the college too much. Just basically the Big Ten games, Ohio State and Minnesota. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Debo, what do you got on USC? Did you get to watch any of it?
I mean, I watched a little bit of it, but I mean, it's Pac-12. Defenses really aren't that good. I mean, it's not as bad as Big 12's defense, I feel like. But I mean, both teams put up 40 points. Both of them, for the most part, they both threw 400 yards. They both aired it out, and it just seems like those defenses don't really play great defenses. But I mean, Caleb Williams, he's good. He misses a lot of passes. He throws a lot of passing attempts. So I feel like his numbers are inflated. I mean, I don't think he's bad, but I definitely don't think he's anything too crazy.
Yeah,
I definitely just feel like he throws the ball a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to a topic that we know a little bit more about. Let's go to the Big Ten matchup between Penn State and Michigan. Dad, I don't know if you're still on with us, but if you are, I want to get your take on what you think of Michigan. I know you've watched them play the last couple of weeks, and the second half they came out with a whole different football team against Penn State. I don't know what kind of PEDs they were doing in the locker room at halftime, but something happened, and they look like a whole different football team. Do you think Michigan can give Ohio State a run for the second year in a row, or do you think Ohio State's going to kind of run the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think Michigan's a lot better than I thought they were. They showed that yesterday. They'll give Ohio State a run. Hopefully it's as good a game as the Tennessee-Bama game. It has been. Yeah, I think it was last year, if I remember right.
Michigan
it was pretty
close.
A
heck of a game. Yeah, it was hard.
I think that game will come down to the last possession again this year.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, you got anything on your Wolverines?
I mean, this game was another one of those things where, we're still kind of waiting to see Michigan actually throw the football for a decent amount of yardage. I think they still only had about 140 yards passing. And so, Michigan just kind of furthermore proved what we already knew, which is that they had a really good offensive line, a really good run game. They're very balanced. But you have to stretch the field vertical if you're going to beat Ohio State.
I agree.
They score fast, they score in bunches, and they score vertically. And that's been the thing where last year they made a couple of really big pass plays to win that game against Ohio State last year. And so still kind of waiting for it. I do think that they'll win the line of scrimmage again this year. I think Michigan will dominate in that sense. But I feel like all Ohio State has to do is load the box. And I think it's going to cause problems. It's going to make the offense one-dimensional. And so it's still a toss-up for me as much as I would love – oh, man. I would love nothing more than back-to-back wins for Michigan. Growing up as a kid, man, there was two things that were certain. Kentucky was going to lose to Florida, and Michigan was going to lose to Ohio State every year. And it used to kill me. And it does finally feel like Michigan and Ohio State are back to those early 2000s teams that were very, very similar. Both were usually in the top 5 when they would play. It's going to be an awesome game, but Michigan they did prove they're definitely, if not one, number 2 in the conference, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Debo, you got anything on this before we go to NFL football?
No, that's the one game I didn't get really watch. Other than, hey, you saw what home field advantage can do for a game. That's for sure.
The second half, Michigan, like I said, came out. The first half was real tight. Michigan had a little bit of an edge in the first half. Second half, man, I don't know if Penn State, I don't know if Clifford broke his leg or what, but they looked horrible in the second half. But let's get into NFL football. I want to get a couple of things before my dad hops off here. Dad, I'm coming to you first. Do you think, and this is the best thing ever for me to say, this is just music coming out of my ears on this one. What is your take on the Green Bay Packers? Are they still a playoff team, Dad, to you? And do you think, is it panic time for that offense and Aaron Rodgers? What do you think?
They might have a chance at making the wild card. It was so much fun watching that game yesterday. The Jets beat them up. They physically dominated the Green Bay Packers. I think they sacked Rodgers 3 times or 4, but they had him on his back the whole day. Green Bay's not very physical. They're blaming it on the receivers. I don't think that's a problem. They're just not a physical football team. Yeah. So I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I hope they get their ass kicked again next week.
Yeah, no, that's it's awesome to watch Green Bay look bad. Dad, you want to move your camera? You're not even on the camera, man. There we go. I'm just joking. But no, it was fun to watch the Jets look. The Jets whooped them. They absolutely just took care of business against Green Bay. I did not expect that to happen. And I want to say this: if Green Bay even plays a close game to where it's close, or even gets beat by the Commanders next week, that's real panic time for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, if the Commanders beat them, they're in big trouble, and the Commanders can beat them. Yeah. No,
definitely.
It's on the road. Yeah.
For sure. Brad, what's your take on the Packers? You think they're dead? You think Rodgers needs to do another round at ayahuasca to get his head right? What do you think needs to happen?
I will say this, man. What is happening in the background there?
Yeah, we wanted to show it. It's the Peyton Manning, Jalen Hyatt smoking a cigar together.
Okay.
We got together picture.
I'll say this, man. I don't think if I would have told you that the statistic for this game would be one team would have 218 passing yards, the other one would have 99, I think every person in their right mind would have picked the Packers to be the team with 218. And literally it was the Jets. I don't know what happened with I think I actually might be wrong on that. The Jets actually won with 99 passing yards. That was something that something with the Packers that's a little bit alarming, and I think it's just getting worse every week, is there doesn't seem to be much of a sense of urgency. It seems like they're just playing very lackluster, they're just kind of showing up. It doesn't feel like the front office even believes this team's even a playoff team this year. Obviously, you have expectations of fans and whatnot, but I feel like if you took the fan expectation out of this season, this kind of feels like a big disaster waiting to happen. This also feels like probably the last year that Aaron Rodgers will be legitimate. And so I don't know. I'm a little bit disheartened because I always want to see the greats go out with one big bang. But I'm telling you, man, this is the culmination of years and years and years of missing on talent in the draft. Missing on receivers, missing on people who can make you big plays. Because if there's anything that you can give Tom Brady that Aaron Rodgers doesn't have, it's that if they're healthy, Tom Brady's front offices surround him with players who make Tom Brady better, not worse. Aaron Rodgers is around people that make him worse, not better. And he's getting exposed this year. It's pretty obvious.
Has no – I swear I can't believe it. He has no choice on who comes in other than Randall Cobb. I mean, they will not give him a weapon. I don't understand why they're not throwing the bag at Odell Beckham. Did you hear they offered him the league minimum this year?
I know.
The Green Bay Packers, who have nobody, Christian Watson playing their number one guy, Alan Lazard, and they offer him they don't even offer Odell $1 million to come play. And the guy just won a Super Bowl last year. I cannot believe. And
they just lost Randall Cobb for the year.
I know. It doesn't make any sense what they're doing, man. Why are they not going and throwing all their money at somebody? Get somebody in there that Rodgers can hook up with. It's unbelievable. The Packers front offense is horrible, man. What's his name? Gutekunst or whatever his name is. How he still has a job, I cannot believe. Debo, what do you got on the Green Bay Packers, man?
Packers front office is autistic.
They're so bad, dude. So bad.
Just leave it the way it is. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I like the sound of that. Heck yeah. Literally. All right, Dan, I'm coming to you with the next question here. Can the NFC, I can't believe I'm saying this, can the NFC East have 3 teams in the NFL and come out and make the playoffs this year? Can the Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys all be playoff teams? Are you buying the Giants, or what do you think on the New York Giants?
Well, that's a good one. Yeah, it's possible they could, because I don't know if you've noticed, but the West team division sucks.
Yeah, I know.
They're 3-3 is leading it.
Yeah, I know.
Right, but 3 weeks from now we might be saying just the opposite. The NFL has so much parity; anybody can beat anybody. Every week it's different. It's crazy. That's why it's the best show in town. So it's possible. Is it likely? I don't think so, but it's possible.
Yeah, definitely. You and me were talking about it, Dad. Who are the 3 teams that got beat that we couldn't believe this week? I know the Chiefs did, but they played the Bills. I mean, the Buccaneers lost. The Buccaneers lost, right? I can't even think.
They lost to the Steelers.
Tampa lost. Tampa lost. San Francisco lost. Green Bay lost, and Baltimore lost.
Right. Yeah. It was all the teams that you wouldn't guess. Right.
Right. And it happens every week, and it happens every week in the NFL. You better come and you better play a good game, or you're going to get your ass beat by almost anybody.
Yeah, no doubt, no question.
So it's too early to talk wild card or division winners or any of that stuff, because 3 weeks from now it'll probably be just the opposite.
No, definitely, absolutely.
That's how fast the NFL changes. Yeah.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, look at the Miami Dolphins. People were talking about them being a top 5 team. Now they're down to Skylar Thompson and Teddy Bridgewater. Dad, he looked horrible. Teddy looked like. I mean, it sucks seeing him, because he led the Vikings to a playoff win, and man, he looked bad.
Yeah, he did. And Skylar Thompson looked good, but he got hurt, or the Vikes might have been in trouble. That kid threw some nice passes, real nice.
Crazy.
Yeah, every team in the NFL is an injury or 2 away from their season going to hell.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
So,
go ahead. Brad, what's your take on the NFC? Let's get back into that. Do you think all 3 of them are legit, or what do you think about the NFCs?
I don't think all 3 are legit. I think all 3 are solid teams. I think the Giants, they just keep finding ways to win games, man. I still don't think they're a good team. Like, how do they keep winning football?
I know, right? They just keep doing it. Doing it.
I can't stand Daniel Jones. He's a Walmart version of Kirk Cousins. I'm just not a fan. I will say, shout out to my boy Wan'Dale Robinson from Kentucky, getting his first rookie game, got his first touchdown of his career. I think the Giants are scary, but they're not. I don't think they're legit. If that even makes sense. I still think Philly will probably win the division. I think we'll probably split with Dallas. I think Dallas will lose 1 to Washington, and probably drop 1 to the Giants, because I think personnel-wise and matchup-wise, I actually think Washington matches up better with Dallas because of the way they play. They're very much more like a very much more possession, ground and pound, keep the ball out of the other team's hand, as where the Eagles try to score a lot faster. And I think the Giants and the Cowboys actually play a very similar game. They try to ground and pound and open up the passing game and try to stretch the field. But I don't know, man. I'm not a believer of the Giants. I am impressed with the Cowboys' resolve last game against the Eagles. I think they really fought hard in the second half. It showed they have a solid roster. If they hadn't played such an abysmal first half, they might have actually had a shot to win. So I do think all three teams are good, but are all three teams going to make the playoffs? No way. The Giants they're bound to fail somehow.
No, definitely. I couldn't agree more. Debo, what do you got on the NFC East? Are they all legit? I know the Eagles are.
No, I don't think they're all legit. I think their records are inflated because for their AFC matchup, they're matched up against the AFC South this year, and the AFC South records are pretty trash. So I feel like they'll have a couple wins in there that, like, their records seem real good, but eventually towards the end of the season when teams are figuring out schemes, they're probably going to get locked down and blown out. Or I feel like the Giants will at least, not the Eagles. I feel like the Eagles about the only legit team. Cowboys, I feel like when Dak comes back, they're going to go back to struggling a little bit just because, like, when you switch quarterbacks, you're switching tempo, you're switching timing, you're switching everything. Like, it's not just, like, switching any other position. So I think the Eagles got the best shot to finish that division out. If I had to pick a team to come in second, it'd probably be the Cowboys, but I really feel like the only legit team is the Eagles. Yeah.
No, I think when Dak comes back, I think we're going to see a different Cowboys team. Not like bad, but I think their offense is going to change. I think they're not going to have Dak throw the ball 30, 40 times a game. They've established the running game and possession game football with Cooper Rush. I think they're going to have Dak Dak's not going to have to do as much, I think, when he comes back. I think they'll figure that out. But now I want to dive into – let's dive around some of these NFL. I know it's way too early to pick. My dad's already said that. But I kind of want to get a pulse on what you guys think with some of the divisions that are really, really close and what you guys' take is. Who do you think the favorite is? Who's your favorite right now? Who's the best team in each division out of the ones that are, like, up in the air? And we'll start with that NFC West division. Dad, I'm going to let you go first because you were the one who brought this up. Right now, who do you think looks the best out of the NFC West? And is Geno Smith for real as a quarterback?
Yeah, he is. He's protecting the ball. Geno Smith has been protecting it real well. I even heard the announcer saying that yesterday.
I think he's leading the NFL in passer rating. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. The 49ers are the favorite, and I still think they're the better team in the division. So I would go with them.
You picking them over the who's the other team? I mean, Arizona gets D-Hop back, but they're like 2-4. They're not doing so hot. Yeah, I think the 49ers, their defense is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
All right, Debo, who you got in the NFC West? Who do you like to come out of that? Who's your favorite right now?
Niners.
Yeah,
Niners.
For sure. Brad, who do you got? What do you think? Is there anybody that can give the Niners a run? What do you think?
I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm still rolling with the Rams. Still. I don't know why. I feel like there's I don't know what it is with Matthew Stafford. He hasn't been clicking much. But if one team has all the pieces to make a decent run in the playoffs again, it'll be the Rams. I think they have a good receiving core. They got a good quarterback, got a solid offensive line. They've got good edge rushers on the defense mixed with, they have a great secondary. So all they're missing is they just got to put a couple games together to get their momentum back. I think they'll actually they're my like sleeper pick to actually win that division. I think they're going to go on a big streak here in the end of the season.
For sure.
They better go find some offensive linemen quick because Stafford's getting killed. He thinks he's back in Detroit. Yeah. Right. They're killing them. They're going right through their line like crazy. I don't know if they have some injuries there or what, but that's their problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right. I don't know how much longer you got, Dad, but I want to give you. I got to roll.
You want to ask one more question, then I got to go.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll give you one more division. I want to hear your take on the AFC North. Right now, there's a tie between the Ravens and the Bengals at 3-3, and the other two are right behind at 2-4. Who looks the best for you out of the AFC North? Then you can get out of here.
Oh my God, none of them.
Yeah,
None of them. Yeah, the Bengals are. They started out slow. They played 2 good games in a row. I'd go with them.
Okay. Well, you can take off that. I know you got people to meet with. You got a business to run. So.
Thank you.
I got to get to work. Yeah. See you guys. Yeah, see you.
Sir.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks, Dad.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's continue with the AFC North. Debo, what is your take on the AFC North? I know you're a Lamar Jackson guy. What do you think? Who do you think the team is still the favorite, even though the Ravens have not looked good as of late?
I'm taking the Bengals. I'm rocking with Joe Burrow, dude. Joe Burrow, even though he gets pressured so much and they should not be in half of these games, and Joe Burrow puts them in. And Jamar Chase too. I can't count Jamar Chase out, but dude, Joe Burrow's the truth. For the drop, for what is, I don't know, especially that first game, I feel like you really saw some resilience that first game this year against the Steelers. They played an absolute ready defense that came out, hit him in the mouth, and Joe Burrow just keeps every game standing up and making throws that he needs to throw. He's kind of that dude.
Yeah, he's the definition of resiliency for sure.
Oh yeah, I think Joe Burrow's kind of got that Joe Namath swag to him. He's just nitty. Yeah. He's gritty. He's got the bayou written all over him, bro. I love Joe Burrow, man. And and the best thing about him is he stays so calm.
Yeah.
It kind of gives me the Big Ben vibe of just he can get hit 100 times, but bro, if he can play, he's coming in there and he's winning the game on the last drive of the game. I also think that they started off really slow. I think they obviously had a lot of issues with their offensive line that still seem to be hanging around, but they like the Rams, they have all the weapons you need. They've got a solid defense that's starting to get better. Their offensive line is playing better. So. And the Ravens just cannot seem to win big games, man.
Yeah.
Look, for all the love you have to give Lamar, he makes some of the worst decisions on the last drives of games that make no sense. Just lofting balls up that have no chance of being caught. And he's been doing that since college. And sometimes I think that's what defense is cueing on with the Ravens is if you can just make Lamar Jackson have to throw the ball eventually, he'll make the mistake, the costly one. So with all that being said, I think still the Bengals will win the division. I think that it's gonna come down to maybe one final game because everybody's so dang equal. But the division's gonna be fun to watch. Man, they're gonna beat the crap out of each other all season. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, absolutely. This division is it. Like my dad said, and I've said it from the beginning, this is the most unpredictable division. It doesn't make any sense. The Steelers, who we all thought were dead, go and beat Tampa and do their thing because Trubisky comes back and is a hero. But it's unbelievable, man. This division makes zero sense. We all got to ride with the Bengals because they've been there. They did it. Burrow's the most trustworthy quarterback out of the group. But I don't know, man. If I had to ask you who's the worst team in the division, I don't know if I can definitively say the Steelers anymore. I mean, because the Browns look bad. Brissett is Brissett. I don't know, man. This division, I'm going to ride the Bengals to win it. But if you had to pick who's going to finish second and third, I mean, I like the Ravens and the Bengals, but, man, some one of these teams could get hot and you never know.
Here's a question for you. Is Kenny Pickett time officially over?
No.
I think
he's a rookie.
How bad is
I know, but you've seen it, though. When rookies get put in too early, it ruins their mechanics. It ruins their confidence, and they sometimes don't ever bounce back. Happened with Brady Quinn in Cleveland, man.
I think with Trubisky doing what he did, I think you got to ride Trubisky out for this year until he goes abysmal. and then look at Kenny Pickett next year. I think you have to.
Yeah.
I think that they should have never.
I agree.
Never, way too early.
They need
way
to stop,
too early.
bro. People need to stop listening to their fan bases. Your fan base is your fan base for a reason. They're not NFL head coaches. You should probably just do what you think is the best decision for your team. Everyone listens to their fan bases. Like, sorry, there's a lot of fan bases that have absolute moron fans. Like, I'm going to go ahead and say this because I live here. I don't live in Minnesota, but most of the Minnesota Viking fans are absolute morons. They think every year they're going to the Super Bowl. Like, sorry, not happening. Like, it's just.
Dude, I'm an Eagles fan, bro. We're the nuttiest of them all.
Oh,
So I understand.
Them and Husker fans, I tell you what, man, they're nuts.
I mean,
all right.
Realistic Husker fans don't do that. Realistic Husker fans don't do that. There is some people that think, oh, Nebraska's winning this year, but those are
come on.
Those are guys named Curtis that work in the farm and ride Case IH tractors all day.
Curtis and Billy Joe running the show, man.
Oh, man.
That's tough. But, all right, let's get into our last division I want to talk about. Let's dive into the AFC South with the Titans and the Colts tied at 3-2, and the Jaguars right behind them at 2-4, and then the other team that's just dead. Brad, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think? Is there even a light in this division? Is there anything to look forward to in this division? And who are you going to ride with to make at least one of them's got to be in the playoffs? I don't know which one, but one of them's got to be there.
Personally, I hate this division. I hate it.
None of them are fun to watch. They're all so
I
boring.
hate watching all these teams play football. It's so boring. I think if I have to get the upper hand of someone, I think Indianapolis is starting to find a little bit of a groove. But I still think Matt Ryan is a big accident waiting to happen, just like many of the people that they've had at quarterback, like Carson Wentz and company. I also think that the Titans, if there's a team that could win a playoff game, it's the Titans. But if there's a team that I think will make the playoffs, I think it's the Colts. Because I think, again, like I said earlier with matchups, I think the Colts actually favor the Titans in a matchup. But I think there are things that the Titans do really well that other teams wouldn't be able to defend as good. And so, I don't know. I have to give the upper hand to the Titans if I think – I hate this division. It's so boring. There's no passing game. Like, the Colts gave you a little magic with a second-half comeback, but who cares?
It was finally Matt Ryan's best game of his year so far. He actually had decent numbers, but
he did.
But it didn't look like the numbers on the screen didn't look like how he played. I mean, he played well, but it didn't look like he had like a Patrick Mahomes crazy game.
Yeah, I know.
But he had good numbers. It was a deceivingly good game for him. Good comeback. But I don't know, man.
Devo, what you got? These are your boys, man. Top 5 team in the NFL.
Win it if Jonathan Taylor would actually maybe get more than 60 yards in a game. The dude literally every game has gone down in yards. Like, he just progressively keeps getting – first game, 160 yards. I mean, okay, next game, 50 yards. Next game, 70 yards. Next game, 40 yards. Dude hasn't had a game, like, over 100 yards combined, like, receiving or running. I feel like if they can get him hot, they get hot. Like, that's just plain and simple. It is what it is. He's having a slump right now, and they're struggling. I think for Tennessee, I think Tannehill's starting to get out of his prime a little bit. Teams are starting to figure out that, when Derrick Henry's not absolutely running all over everybody, they can't just let him sit back and run play action and just throw wide open receivers over the middle. So I agree with Brad. If there's a team that can win in the playoffs, Titans. But team that can get there, Colts have the roster to get there. They just got to execute.
I think Ryan Tannehill has the same situation that Aaron Rodgers has. Who does he have to throw the ball to? They got rid of A.J. Brown and Julio in 1 year. They got nobody to throw.
Is it Robert Woods? Is that their
he's down threat? There. He's down there, but still, like,
come on.
He hadn't even heard his name all year. I had to think about who he played for. I mean, it's
he's fresh off the ACL tear.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Dude, why do they not go and get Odell Beckham?
I know, right?
Like, just give him a shot.
I know.
Because
I don't understand.
Robert Woods would probably leave because that's Odell took Robert Woods' spot when he came to LA.
So
The day Odell got to LA, Robert Woods tore his ACL, and then the Rams just kind of took off with Odell and Cooper Kupp last year.
hey, but a front office could care less about your grudge, man. That man was a wide receiver 2 on a team that won the Super Bowl. Why would you not want to take a shot on him?
So was Robert Woods before Odell got there.
He was.
Like,
Robert Woods is. I'm not.
Yeah,
Robert Woods
he was
is
the number
legit.
2 before Odell
100%
got
legit.
there. But
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying, why not?
They have nobody else. They have nobody else to throw the ball to.
But if you get Odell, you have 2 receivers that are all fresh off ACL tears.
Yeah, well, it's better. It's better than what they got now.
It's better than no receivers.
You would think so, but like you can't use them constant. Like you're gonna have to use them on exclusive like packages, like when you need a first down or like late in games or games that matter, like how the Bills are using Von Miller. Dude's playing like 30% of the snaps. Like they barely use Von Miller because they know they're not gonna use him until playoffs. When they get to the playoffs, Von Miller's gonna go absolutely nuts. Like
He's still going nuts.
The only
he only
game
played
he played
35%
was-
of the snaps and had 3 sacks.
Facts. And like yesterday against the Chiefs, that was the only game he played more than like 30. He said like I'm playing most of the snaps today. Like you gotta load manage dudes like that at that age. You can't really just keep using Robert Woods and Odell like they're 24, 23.
Well, I think Odell's still pretty young, man.
True.
I mean, he's still pretty young.
True, I feel that.
I don't know. It just feels like why not? Like because at the end of the day, there's so much that's already not there. Like at least your fans would be able to say, okay, they tried. Like
I mean,
it just
I
didn't work.
like that pickup for them, but I just think like I think they should wait until. I mean, you can't really wait because you need to score now. But like, I don't want him to get Odell and try and overuse him, and then he just gets hurt right away. Like,
Yeah, I can see that.
If
like
you're Odell,
I still think Odell, like when he's like full go, you want Odell. Like we obviously saw it in the Super Bowl last year. He was running that offense that first half up until he got hurt. He's so effective. It's just like, hopefully he doesn't get that one injury. Like where, like him and Saquon, they just kind of get like those weird injuries where like random stuff happens.
Yeah,
if you're Odell, where are you wanting to go? What's your number 1 or number 2 option? If you're Odell, what do you guys think?
Green Bay.
Gold,
man.
Gold.
Not now. I'm saying Odell's not going to sign until playoffs. Odell is going to wait 100%. He is going to wait until like a week or 2 before playoffs, and he is going to sign to whoever is the hottest team at that time that fits him the best. I'm serious. I won't be surprised if you see him on the Packers or you see him on like.
I could see him go back to LA. I don't know why
That's
he's going
what
back to LA.
I was going to say. I think he's going back to the Rams when he gets healthy.
It could happen.
I think he's the missing piece.
Bills. I can see the Bills really.
No way. That would be sick.
If he went to the Bills, well, nobody's offered him any money. I mean, the Rams offered him $4.25 million, but like, man, it's Odell Beckham.
Yeah,
he's getting $5 million. I mean, come on, man.
You gotta think how many times he's been injured though. He's had like 2 ACLs.
For a short stretch though, it's worth having him for 2 games.
It is worth it at the end of the day. I mean,
$5 million to these owners is a car payment. I mean, it's stupid. Like, it's ridiculous.
Here's all I'm saying. If Deshaun Jackson could keep getting jobs, Odell Beckham can go get a nice little piece of a contract.
Deshaun Jackson might be the most retarded player. Sorry. Not to be offensive, but he might be the most retarded player I've ever seen in my life. He was in the Rams last year. Like he was in the Rams for the first couple games and then complained to Sean McVay, like, you guys aren't using me. Like, if you're not going to use me, trade me. They trade him and they go on a Super Bowl run. Like,
I think that award you just gave goes to one man, and that's Antonio Brown. That guy, he deserves that award you just announced because that man's life is.
Okay, well, I was just talking. That's a whole different different topic. AB,
right.
That's right. Like AB doing some.
Hey, I got nothing but love for D-Jack because of what he did for my team, but at the same time, Deshaun Jackson cares about one person and one person only, and that's Deshaun Jackson, bro.
100%.
And I mean, him and Odell play very similar styles, man. Very similar style, except obviously Odell is more of he can go up and get a ball. Deshaun Jackson's more going to beat you with his legs. But, man, I just want to see the best receivers playing football on solid teams. You hate when they play for bad teams because it ruins their careers, and it looks ugly. Like seeing Julio on these other teams, it's just weird. Like, man, I just don't like it. Like, I wish Julio – why not Julio – Why not go give Julio a shot if you're the Packers? There's just some decisions I just don't understand.
They should have got him and Odell last year with Devontae. Oh, man.
Yikes.
That was a crazy receiver.
If they had one of those two, if they gave him one more weapon, I think Green Bay last year would be a different football team.
I agree.
Now they got nobody. Now they're going to bring back Jordy Nelson from Farman, and hopefully he comes in and
they're going to bring back like Donald Driver or somebody.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Shout out Donald Driver.
It's ridiculous, bro. Man. It's horrible. But I got one more question for you guys. Then we'll get into Guess the College. You guys can get your guys ready. But I got one more question for you. Who do you guys? Nobody ever talks about this. Who do you guys think is the worst 2 or 3 football teams, and the worst team in the NFL?
Ooh.
For me, it's the Carolina Panthers. That's who I think it is. I think it's Carolina, and they're only going to get worse. I mean, Robbie Anderson's out the door. Christian McCaffrey's getting looked at like he's about ready to go off the door. That'd be kind of fun if you speculate. I'm already think he's going to go. But if they get rid of everybody, if you're Baker Mayfield, you got to hate your life, man. You got to hate. You come there with any kind of hope of doing something, they're getting rid of everybody. Matt Rule's gone. I mean, they are that franchise might be it's the worst in the NFL. But I'm interested, guys. What do you guys think is the worst in the NFL, and who are some other teams that you think are just shouldn't even be? This should be in the XFL. What do you think?
Debo, you can go first.
Chicago Bears.
Really?
As of this, I think this year, I think Chicago's horrible. I think they're
the Commanders, huh?
Terrible.
It's the Commanders beat them, but
they're absolutely terrible. And they keep blaming it on the head coaches. Yeah, it's coaching, but also because you guys keep drafting quarterbacks that are not it.
Hold on. Do you think you wouldn't have drafted Justin Fields when he dropped that far?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Who would you rather have him take than Justin Fields?
Bro, Justin Fields, bro. People get way too hype on college quarterbacks that run read options and are throwing to wide open receivers. Justin Fields is not an NFL system quarterback. That dude is terrible. He's literally scrambling with his feet every play. Even when he has wide open receivers, he makes terrible reads. You don't have to agree. Do you watch the film? That dude is garbage. He is terrible.
But here's my question. Who would you have? They needed a quarterback. They needed one. They are horrible. Who would you rather they have taken other than Justin Fields?
Stop drafting quarterbacks and get a veteran.
Yeah, that's tough to do.
Make it happen. Other teams do.
All right. Brad, go ahead.
Here's my thing, man. I actually agree with Debo. I actually watched some film on Justin Fields last night. I don't know what's going on with that offense.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's – I think he just lost his confidence. I think he needs a fresh start. I do think it was the right draft pick. Everyone in their right mind would have picked him. He literally basically took his team to 2 college football playoffs and should have won one of – he looked like he was going to win a national title. And you can't – I mean, this man decimated that Clemson offense, his second to last game ever of his career. So that was his money-making performance. So, I mean, I understand why they drafted him, but Chicago's not one of the worst teams in the NFL, man. They've got serious issues.
They're in the bottom 5.
Carolina is the worst franchise
in
the history of the NFL, bro. Carolina and then the Texans.
Yeah.
It just feels like the Texans. Why are the Texans even in the NFL, dude? No one cares. If you've ever been to Texas, you're never meeting a Texan fan. I do not care what you're telling me. There's Cowboy fans, and then there's Texan fans who wish they lived in Dallas so they could be a Cowboys fan. Yeah. Nobody likes Houston. That franchise gets no love, no respect. Carolina, ditch them. Houston, ditch them. And honestly, like while we're at it, like the Jags, man, who the freak cares about Jacksonville, Florida? Like it's a terrible city. It's a weird place to put a football team. I know they've got some pieces, but I think Landon is actually starting to look more right than anything. That team is falling apart by the day. I mean, here's the thing: Chicago's got a couple Super Bowls in their repertoire.
They have a really rich history. Their history,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Washington's got a really rich history.
The Bears are known as they're a storied franchise. It just as of late they've been.
I didn't know we were talking about all time. I
didn't know. I wasn't. But
okay.
We can go there. That's fine.
But I still would stand by the two that I pick. I think the Texans and the Panthers are just horrible, man. Gosh, dude. Can you name me 5 players?
2002, but
I want to say one other thing. Like, I write the entire 2020 college season off. Like, that's like that season was absolute trash. Half the teams weren't even playing. You had teams literally playing with like dudes. They just filled rosters with guys off the street. Like, literally, the COVID messed up that whole year. You had a national championship where a team had 7 more games than the other team, or 5 more games than the other. That is crazy. Bama had like 12 games played. Ohio State had like 5 or 7, something like that. And like they were literally playing teams like 2nd and 3rd strings. So
see, I can't write that off because Kentucky blew out Tennessee that year, like absolutely smoked them, bro. So that year was great for me.
Well, I know I get that. I don't mean like write everybody off, but like the top teams that year were literally playing like they had all the star players and they were playing like high school JV squads, basically.
Yeah. Hey, quick thing, right? Which team do you think means more to the NFL history-wise? The Buffalo Bills or the Washington Redskins?
The Redskins, 100%. Redskins, they've had so much history. The Bills just haven't had that win. The Redskins have won championships, and they've been up at the end. Every time the Bills have been there, the 90s where they were a team. They were a squad. They just couldn't get past the Cowboys. But rich history-wise, the Redskins are a franchise that were kind of started the NFL. They were a starting team. The fact that they're changed their name is ridiculous. Now, I'm sorry that people that say that, but also I think that I don't get why these teams change their name. I get that all of a sudden like it's hate towards them. It's not though. It's kind of recognition towards them.
It's honor. It's literally honor.
The Seminoles, they love the Seminoles. The Seminoles love that name. It's like, why do they do that? Maybe there's something behind the scenes I don't know about. Maybe there's something like where they charge them money or something. I don't know how it works, but I think it's an honor, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, like, okay, yeah, I agree what you're saying. I hate that, like, the native tribes, like, would say that that's offensive. The only one I could technically see being offensive is technically Redskin.
Yeah,
but,
that
like,
probably is. That probably is the one
Chiefs,
that probably isn't a good
Seminoles fighting Sioux, like, those are fire mascots. The Redskins are the only ones I can see being kind of offensive.
That one I get. The Redskins one I get because it's not the best term for them, but but I just don't get all of a sudden what happened.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing that I would want to see, and I have to do some research into it. If the tribe is called the Redskins, then how can that be offensive? Yeah. If there's a tribe called the Redskins, like they call themselves that, then I don't get why it would be offensive.
Right.
I do understand, like, for people who would paint their face and do that, I'm sure that's like kind of comes in as like mockery. But they even made Arkansas State change their name. They were the Red Indians. Now they're like the Red Wolves or something.
The Red Wolves, aren't they? Yes, I know it was the Red Wolves. Yeah.
I don't mean to even get into this. It's just like I hate when modern day like offenses, politics, literally modern day political offenses come in and carve out all of a rich history that years and years and years of like pageantry and tradition, and it comes in and ruins it. Right. And like, no, I'm sorry, but nobody is like hyped to go watch a Washington Commanders game. No one cares.
I bet they lost so many fans because of that.
Like it makes me upset because I'm like, come on, man! Like this is one of the most historic franchises of all time, And
that logo's so fire too.
I know it was so clean. And yeah, I just say all that because while we're on the topic of NFL, it's just interesting to me. And you think like even I look back, man, what would have happened if the Oilers had still been a team like and stayed in Houston? Would the Texans be the team everyone is in love with instead of the Cowboys now? Because the Cowboys have kind of had a little bit of fall off from grace for a while. But man, I love talking football, but I don't want to go off.
No, I hear you. No, I don't know. It's something I don't know a whole lot about because I just never really got into it because I'm from the Midwest and Washington's way out west, and I don't know. Not west. I'm sorry, they're out east. It's DC. I'm dumb, but I don't know. It's a weird take. I don't want to get into it because I don't know enough about it, and that's why I'm always like standoffish of it. But the only thing I don't like, the only thing I'm frustrated with is the Redskins were a nationally known team because of their history, and I feel like a lot of people that weren't in DC went separate ways and started liking other teams and started getting away from the Redskins when they came to the Commanders because of the name change and the football team. And I cannot believe Dan Snyder, of him still being a owner of a football team. Man, that there is so much going on with that team. But
you're telling me you had a meeting.
Snyder's a dog, though. What in the world? He's got dirt on everybody.
You're telling me you had a meeting. And the only thing you could come up with is the football team.
Yeah, I know, right?
What?
Right.
Oh my gosh, man!
But Dan Snyder, man, I don't understand.
What's the Indians mascot now? What's their new team?
The Guardians.
Bro.
So ridiculous.
Like
one of my favorite movies is about the Indians in Major League, and it's fun to see everybody in the stands doing their thing. It's
I've never even seen a group of people come out. I've never seen a native tribe come out and publicly make a statement saying they don't like that. It's just they change the mascot and say, "Oh, people were offended," but never actually seen any proof of people really being offended like that.
I've seen one with the Redskins.
The Sioux were up in North Dakota. They were, but
in North Dakota there was actually
the Fighting Sioux were not happy about it. Now they're the Fighting Hawks, but.
That was the sickest logo. The Fighting.
Oh, I know, man.
So fire.
The North Dakota's logo was so sick.
I know, it was dope. It was dope.
So sick. All right, let's move on to our favorite game. I have my two boys that I probably talk about the most with guests of college on. I have a few guys that I have a few players pulled up.
Hey, I'm not going to lie, Brad. That hat is fire, dog. That hat is fire. Brad's hat is fire.
Thanks,
bro. Isn't that sick?
Thanks, man. My buddy Seth made it.
That's clean. He made that?
Yeah. The same guy who made his graphic.
Is it stitched or is it printing?
It's printed.
That is fire.
The same guy who made his logo, the Southern Fan logo, is the guy who made that hat.
Yeah,
he's gifted, man. He's cool.
He's nuts. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
All right. If you guys want to pull up your teams, if you want to make this little round table where we go around and say players, we can do that. I have mine ready to go. I'm going to give my first one to Debo, and if you guys want to pull some up while you're getting ready, go ahead and do that. And then I'll go ahead and I'll put some filler time if you're going to pull some people up. But I want to talk about one more division. Who you guys think is the team to come out while we're doing that? The AFC West with the Chiefs, and I'm saying they're the favorite. We all know that. But who do you think could be that second team that can come out? Even though I want to say the Chargers, the Broncos are bad. Who do you think is there anybody else that can come out of the AFC West going into the rest of the season? It's early on. What do you guys think?
NFC West?
AFC West, the Chargers, Raiders, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, and the Chiefs. Are any of those teams you think able to come out other than the Chiefs?
I can't believe the Raiders are as bad as they are right now, man. I was almost for certain that they would compete for that division. I think right now, man, my money's strictly on the Chiefs. I think they're the team that has all the momentum. I think they have all the makings of a Super Bowl contender. So I can't buy anybody else at the moment. I thought it was going to be the Raiders.
Only the Chargers can maybe make a wild card. Other than that, the rest of them, man.
Yeah.
The Broncos. I feel so bad for the Broncos. They thought they had their guy, and he has been horrible.
Yeah, it's been horrible.
Horrible.
And
their coach. I know it's his first year. I hope they give him a little bit of a shot, but man, it's
Yeah,
rough.
no kidding.
You got anything else, Debo, or are you sticking with that?
Oh, I agree with you on Chargers. They just got to get healthy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sorry,
All right.
I'm kind of.
Let's dive into Guess the College. I hope you guys have your guys ready. Debo, my first one for you. This one, I'm going to start out pretty easy and work my way up. I have a lot of easier ones this week. But, Debo, first one to you, quarterback Phillip Rivers.
Ooh, I know this.
NC State.
Yep, NC State. If you want to go, Debo, let's go around the table if you guys want to do that.
It's fun.
Joe Webb. Who did I pick for you guys? Or?
Dang, you're coming out with a bang, Debo. You're coming out with Joe Webb first. I gave you Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, I feel like is hard unless you. I mean, I feel like most people don't know where he played at.
What?
Like if you're not.
I don't even know who Joe Webb is.
If you're not an avid football fan,
he played quarterback for the Vikings for a little while.
I know his name. Like I knew he was a quarterback with the Vikes, but I was like,
he played a terrible playoff game for us. I'll never forget it.
I remember.
He threw a ball straight up in the air. I couldn't believe it. It was
do you know this one?
All right, Brad, I got one for you right here. Here we go.
Do you know it?
Who'd you say, Joe Webb?
Yeah.
I don't. Do you know, Brad? I have no idea.
I'm gonna guess like Northern Illinois or something.
Not Power 5. I know that.
It's in the. They might be group of. I think they're group of 5, Southeast. Definitely in the Southeast. Football program.
I guess Troy.
Louisiana Tech.
No, but their football program got cut for like a year and a half.
Oh, UAB.
Yeah.
UAB.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't get that one. Brad, you got one? Go ahead. You can give it to whoever you want.
Yeah. Debo.
Yeah.
Sean Alexander.
That one's easy. That one's too easy.
Alabama.
I like how you're starting easy. I appreciate it.
Alabama?
Definitely. Huh?
Is that Alabama?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that one. I feel like I heard that recently. That's the only reason I know that.
So back home, Sean Alexander is like a god, bro. He set like every Kentucky high school rushing record known to man.
From Kentucky?
Yeah, he's from Boone County, Kentucky, bro.
Whoa,
Appalachian State
I would
country.
never guess that.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
All right, Brad. Here we go.
So,
George Kittle.
oof.
Power 5.
Well, why do I feel like it's? I feel like is it a Big Ten school?
It is.
Okay, we're cooking with gas.
You know Lunch Pail University.
I don't, man. I'm a Kentucky fan, brother. We play in the SEC.
Think of the most Lunch Pail team in the Big Ten, and who? If you,
I would say like Nebraska or Lunch Pails, like Iowa or something.
Who are you going with?
Where's Tight End University right now? Think of all the good tight ends.
Debo's giving you way too many hints right now.
I know, and it ain't clicking.
Think of all the good tight ends in the league and think of where they went to college.
See, I think of like Cincy and stuff. That's not in the Big Ten. So I'm thinking I'm going to shoot one. Let's say Michigan State.
It is. You already said them. It is Iowa.
Okay. I didn't get that one right. Dude, I am not good with tight ends anymore, man. Gosh. They used to all come out of the SEC. They don't anymore.
Him and TJ Hawkinson, and then there's someone else that's a starting. Noah Fant from Iowa.
They played together. They played together at Iowa.
Yeah. And Fant was a standout, too. Which is crazy.
All right. Whose turn is it? Is it Debo's or Brad's? I don't even know.
Debo.
All right. Brad, this one's for you. I gotta change it now. Brad, this one's for you. Michael Crabtree.
Oh, Texas Tech.
Come on, man. That's one of my favorite teams of all time.
I watch that man play almost every week.
All right.
All right. I got one for y'all. I want y'all both to try to guess this one.
All right.
All right. I got two of them. Let me see which one I'm going to go with. Seneca Wallace.
Seattle Seahawks quarterback. Here we go. I feel like I honestly remember him.
He was
playing.
a dog at this
Yeah,
college.
I know. I think it's a Pac-12 school, right?
No, sir.
Is it not?
No, sir.
Okay, it's not what I'm thinking then.
It's Power 5.
Yeah, I know.
Are they maroon colors?
Not necessarily. No, not maroon.
Okay.
They're reddish, but not maroon.
Man.
I think I know who it is.
I'll go for it. Shoot it, Devo.
Is it Florida State?
Nope.
Oh.
Oh.
Once I say it, you'll be like, oh, of course. He was like their only guy for so long.
I remember like hearing him coming out of the draft. Like I remember hearing him as a late round pick. I'll have to shoot.
I feel like it's on the tip of your tongue, man.
I'm trying to like visualize the team with him playing in it.
If I tell you the conference, I feel like it'll give it away.
All right, then I'll guess mine. Then we'll do a conference one. I'm gonna throw out. Let me see here. Let's go with. It's definitely not them. I'll go NC State, but I don't think that's right.
Oh man, it's Big 12.
Is it?
Big 12.
Big 12, really? Stump me on this one. Definitely not them. Definitely not them. You got one, Devo? You go ahead and shoot it.
Big 12, Seneca Wallace. We're going to have to go.
I'm trying to think of a red team in the Big 12 that's not like Oklahoma. It's not Oklahoma, though.
That's that's like burgundy or crimson, I guess.
Still red, but
I wouldn't. Is it Oklahoma? I would say Oklahoma.
It's not though. Not Texas.
It's
not Texas Tech. It's not. Oh my gosh, I just can't think of Big 12 teams right now. Yeah,
he was literally their only guy for so long.
It's not them. It's not them. Man, I don't know. You stumped me. Who is it?
Duh.
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Wait, was he number 7?
I think he was. Yes.
I watched him play Minnesota. If it's the guy I'm thinking of, I watched him play Minnesota in a bowl game in Arizona.
It was back when they had the Cyclone logo was the tornado on their helmet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Way back in the day, man.
Wait a minute. I'm picturing him playing with. Yes, I know exactly. Yeah, okay. It's not the guy I'm thinking of, but yeah, I know Seneca Wallace. Yeah, okay.
He was a runner. He was a running quarterback. He was just he was ridiculous, man. Who's got one?
I do. Defensive lineman Max Crosby.
Ooh.
Eastern Michigan, baby.
Attaboy, Debo.
Dang, that was good.
Mad Max Crosby is probably one of my favorite players in the league.
Come on.
That was good.
Let's go.
Debo, I think it's your turn for both.
All right, Dave, what you got?
Both answer.
Did I go Bradless? I guess it don't really matter.
It don't matter. We'll just see if we can bounce back and forth and see who gets it.
Blue, I'm throwing this one back. Quarterback George Blanda.
Who?
George Blanda. You don't know who George Blanda is?
What did your grandpa play with him back in 1934?
You don't know your heritage, Blue.
Who'd you look up this one on?
Oh, that was so
Brad, you know?
Oh, Dylan, you literally took it right out of my mouth, man.
Brad, you know?
What's this Joe
I have
Namath's
no idea
grandpa?
who that is.
George Blanda? What, he played for USC back in 1938?
I'm going to guess like Kansas or something.
Played for Kentucky. He's like the most known Kentucky player probably in the NFL.
No,
he's a quarterback from way back in the day at Kentucky.
He is
George
not
Blanda,
the most known quarterback in Kentucky.
George Blanda's I'm pretty sure, isn't he the quarterback that played for the Chiefs? That he's the viral picture of him smoking a cigarette?
No, bro, that's Lynn Dawson. That's Lynn Dawson.
Really? He the one that died recently?
Yeah, Lynn Dawson.
Yeah, I thought George Blanda just because he's Kentucky.
No. Here's the thing about Kentucky football back in the day is there's really only 3 major players that most people know that played quarterback because we didn't ever pass the ball. There's Bill Ransdale, there's Jared Lorenzen, and then there's I always forget his name, bro. He's the guy right after Blanda. But this is like, bro, Blanda probably played in I think he was late 70s, early 80s. Because I don't remember.
Old. He played I
think he might have been under Bear Bryant.
Really?
He might have been under the Bear, man.
All right. Well, let's keep it to this century, please, so I actually have a chance.
Gosh.
No, I'm just kidding. All right.
I do like
Brad,
that.
I think it's you.
This dude played from 1949 to 1975, dog.
And why did you pick him up as your guess?
Bro, I just know George Blanda. George Blanda is he's one of those dudes' names I've always known. I've just always known his name. I don't know why. I thought of George Blanda, and he just happened to go to Kentucky.
I'm gonna go with one. I don't think you can guess. If you get it, I'll know you watched football in 2004 to 2008. Tony Pike.
Florida.
You talking about George? Who's George Blanda?
No. Tony Pike played when we were kids, and he's the reason. Oh, I can't say that because it'll give it away immediately. He's the reason somebody right now has their big job because of how good he was when he was at this smaller school. It's not a Power 5 school.
Appalachian State. No,
you're in the
Tony Pike is.
You're in a close region. He took this team to a BCS bowl game.
Quarterback?
Yeah.
2004, 2008. Okay, I'm gonna get this. Hold on. I'm gonna get this.
You're in the right region with App State. It's above Kentucky.
I'm gonna get this. Who was a dog?
It was in the Big East.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wasn't UConn, was it? Ooh. Old Big East football.
Come on, he put this team really on a map, and this coach.
Oh, no, it wasn't Rutgers.
Nope.
I about went nuts when who's the running back? Ray Rice. That's right.
Ray Rice.
One
more guess, guys. Come on, you can do this. This guy was a dog in college, in our childhood.
Tony Pike.
I've never even heard of this guy. I'm not gonna lie.
Are you kidding me?
I think I know the name. It's been a minute.
If it's a southern school,
no.
If I was saying,
it's the Big East. Think of Big East basketball schools. It's the Big East.
I was gonna say, okay, well, if it's not in our region, we probably didn't get those games on TV here.
He was a name, though. I know that. I know
he was on College Game Day and stuff.
The last name Pike really sounds familiar. That's why
I literally didn't even know this guy existed.
All right. Any last guesses?
Hold on. Give me the colors of that'll give it away.
Oh yeah, that'll give it away immediately.
It's not Northern Illinois. That's not
Big East.
I know. This is killing me, man.
He literally gave this coach I'm about to name his first big-time job because they hired this coach from this school for a different big school.
Not West Virginia.
Huge school. Who is it?
It's not West Virginia.
Nah. You ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Cincinnati.
Okay. Oh!
Brian Kelly was his coach.
You know what's going to make me super mad? This entire time, I'm thinking a red and black school. That's what I'm thinking in my head. When I think Tony Pike, that's what I'm thinking. I just can't think of the school.
When you said Northern Illinois, I was like,
yeah, no, that's why I said Northern Illinois. I was thinking red and black, but I couldn't think of the school.
Yeah. So Brian Kelly was his coach, and Brian Kelly went 12-0 with Cincy, and then Notre Dame hired Brian Kelly from Cincinnati.
Yeah, he was Cincinnati's coach. That's cool.
Yep. All right, man.
Now?
I still haven't got one right, so hey, it is what it is.
There we go. I'll give you a guy that we actually know about. Keenan Allen.
Cal.
Yeah, I think I've said that one before.
Oh yeah, Cal.
I'll go another one. Damian Pierce, the running back for the Texans.
Damian Pierce. Ooh, I feel like I know that.
And say, Brad, you should know this. Or at least I would expect you to know it before Devo.
Is it Florida?
It's Florida. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Damian Pierce.
I've watched him play. I know that name.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
He's the starting running back for the Texans right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that guy. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
All
Devo,
right.
it's your turn there, big guy.
Damn, I got a long list of players. I got a big list.
I got one I want to say just to see if Dylan can get it, but I know he'll get it. I know he'd get it because he's just like, oh man,
Steven
that's a tough
Jackson.
one. Who?
Steven Jackson.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a tough one because a great running back for the Rams.
Steven Jackson. Is Power 5 or non? I feel like it's a non.
Power 5. Power 5.
It is Power 5?
So it's not
Yeah.
a big team then. All right.
He said it's not a big team.
We were like, I think it's Power 5. I mean, the big schools are Power
No,
5.
it is. I have like 18 names written down, and I was trying to think.
Man, that's such a
Pac-12.
that's a good one.
It's not Cal. It's not Oregon State. Not.
Is it Utah?
I'm gonna shoot on this one. I'm gonna go USC.
No,
Oregon.
no.
No,
Oh,
it's not Washington State. It's not Washington. It's not any of the Arizona schools.
We were 100% already said it.
I did, huh?
Like it was Washington State.
Is it Washington State?
No,
Is it Washington?
no.
Dang.
The one you said it wasn't.
Cal.
Oregon State.
It's Oregon
Oregon
State.
State.
Yeah,
Yes,
Oregon
that's
State.
it.
It's Oregon State.
I always forget about
Blue
that.
Horn said it's not Oregon State. I was
The
like,
very
all
first
right.
team I said. Yeah, that's funny.
Dang. Fair.
Oh, all right. I think it's Brad's turn. Go ahead. Then we'll do a couple more. Then we'll finish
All
this
right.
thing.
All right. Braylon Edwards, old quarterback or wide receiver from the Browns.
Oh, Michigan.
Good. That man was a dog in college, bro. Dog.
Braylon Edwards is that dude. Played for the Jets.
All right, I'm gonna pull a Debo here. I'm gonna go an old player, but it's a known old player. I'm gonna go Jim Brown.
Are you
Wait. He played at
serious? Syracuse.
That a boy, Debo. That
In
a boy.
front of the greatest running back of all time, Ernie Davis.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm impressed. I thought
Right.
I was gonna say Princeton. I don't know why. I guess because of orange.
Princeton's orange? I don't even know what
Yeah.
color Princeton is.
All right. Go ahead, Debo.
Easy or hard?
Just go for it.
Just let it
man.
rip.
Just
We're already too far into this.
This one will probably be easy for one of you. Benny Snell Jr.
I'm not answering that
Bro.
question.
Kentucky.
I'm not answering that question. Give me somebody
All
for
right,
real,
Josh
bro.
Cribbs. Josh Cribbs.
Oh, Josh Cribbs. Is it Big Ten?
No. I think they're group of 5. I'm pretty sure they're group of 5.
Okay.
There's a lot of players from this school that are actually really well known. That now that I think about it, there's a lot of players from here.
Give me the region. You don't have to give me the state or anything. Just give me the region.
Southeast.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah. Don't think too hard. It's pretty right under your nose.
Central Florida.
No. Not that far south. At least I don't think it's that far. I don't know. I'm not geographically. I don't think it's that far south.
Southeast.
Really gave flashes on the field, you know.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
come on,
it's
dude. Is it Kent State?
Kent
State.
Kent State Golden
Kent State.
Flashers.
Well, they have him, Julian Edelman, James Harrison.
I don't think Kent State is southeast, man.
What is Kent? I don't
State
even
is
know.
north.
What is Kent State? Where's that at?
I think that's in Ohio, bro.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Is
where
that was
Kent State's
Kentucky
at.
State or what?
I don't know. I don't know where it's at. I just figured it was southeast. I don't know where Kent State's at.
All right,
Oh,
this
man.
is a pretty easy
What
one.
does
Oh,
Penn
it's
State
Brad's turn.
stand for then? Like, what is that? Is that like
That's just their
Kent,
name.
Ohio, or?
So,
Go, it's your turn, Brad. Go ahead.
all right. Let me pull a couple out of the bag here.
Ooh, out of the duffel. I got a really good one that I don't think either one of you will get. Maybe one of you will get.
Let's say
I'm going to test your college football history. I'm going to give you a history lesson here with mine.
I'm trying to think of a guy that would have been playing in our early years. Let's say Dan Lefevre.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Because he was another one of those Tony Pike kind of guys.
Why does that name sound familiar?
It's northern of Kentucky.
Is it Bowling Green?
No, that's a really good guess. It's northern of Kentucky.
Northern of Kentucky.
Not Ohio. Not Miami of Ohio.
You're so close, though.
I know. That's where my mind went to. Toledo. No, Toledo's. Yeah, Toledo. Dang.
Got any guesses? Devo Samuel.
Oh, the University of Miami, Ohio.
He just said that. I said no.
Shoot. I don't even know who this guy is.
Not Illinois.
I feel like I know that name, but I don't know where.
I know the name. I've heard it before.
He was just another one of those quarterbacks that, like, in the early 2000s when we were like kids, he like just had a crazy season, bro. And
I don't know.
What color?
That'll give it away immediately because it's such a weird color. It'll give it away.
Oh, so then you're talking about
I'm picturing in my head like a dark blue and green.
So you're talking about Eastern Carolina.
No, Dan Lefevre. I'll tell you his helmet. He was the first quarterback to ever wear that like Revolution quarterback helmet that had like the little like robotic
the Revo Speed one.
It's not Eastern Carolina.
The old Revo Speed.
It's north of Kentucky, so it's like in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, somewhere in there. It's
you
one
still
of those.
haven't named the state. You literally skipped around this state. Like, I kid you not, bro.
What's left?
It's huge. It's a huge state.
It's Michigan. You got Michigan, Wisconsin. It's not Central Michigan or Western Michigan. Central Michigan?
Central Michigan Chippewas, man.
Okay.
That's wild.
Dan Lefevre.
All right. I'm going to give you an easy one that I think you guys will both know. You guys know Barry Sanders, right?
Oak State.
Okay. And then I want to give you a history lesson with this one. The Davey O'Brien Award is known for an old quarterback. Where did Davey O'Brien go? The guy that put the name on the award. Power 5.
Ooh. This is interesting. Is it Big 10?
It is not. It is Big 12.
Oh, okay. That makes it a little easier.
Davey O'Brien. We're gonna go ahead and say Baylor.
Nope.
Oh, that's cool.
Oklahoma.
Nope.
Who is it?
TCU.
I was gonna say that actually. That was my first guess before I said Baylor.
You would think that Davey O'Brien would be like a huge name team. Like, no, but TCU.
Interesting.
All right.
TCU's
I'll give both of you guys one more, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Well, I got one for you guys.
All right. Well, you're up.
I actually got two. Blue Door, I feel like knows one. I got Julius Jones.
Julius Jones.
Running back for the Cowboys.
Ooh, man, that's a name. That's a name from the past.
I wish you'd pull up Marion Barber.
That's who my other one was, but you knew that one.
That's Minnesota. But
I know. That's why I didn't do it.
I haven't heard that name.
Is he Oklahoma State?
No.
Julius Jones.
Power 5 or non?
technically Power 5.
Ooh, wait a second. Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Ah, boy.
All right, I've got one for you guys.
All right.
This will really test your NFL and college. So this guy won a Super Bowl MVP in 2006 with the Steelers. Antoine Randall L.
Oh, yeah. Kentucky. Dang it.
You're close. You're close.
No, he went to Indiana State University. What?
You are so close.
Indiana Southern? It's Indiana something. It's got Indiana in the name, right?
Indiana. It's Indiana something. Just say Indiana.
Oh, I always thought it was Indiana. Because doesn't he have that weird intro where he's like Antoine Randall L. Indiana something university? I always thought
he was the quarterback for Indiana when they had black jerseys, bro. Like just the ugliest thing ever I've ever seen. And then I'm going to throw one at you guys. This will be my last one for you. Can either of you guys guess where – there's two of them. Where should I go with? Dang it. I don't want to – it's probably too easy. All right. Ted Ginn Jr.
Ohio State.
Okay.
Ohio State.
No. That was where I was like, it might be easy.
OH.
Ohio.
I'm gonna list off. I'm gonna list off 3 names. This is a 3-pointer, and if you guys can get them, just say them. All right. Sidney Rice, Jason Witten, and Darren McFadden.
Darren McFadden's Arkansas, without a doubt.
That's a tie.
Jason
Witten.
Witten.
East Carolina. No, I don't know.
Jason Witten. Oh, I feel like he is a. He kind of sounds like an. Huh?
This one would have threw me off 100%.
Is Sidney Rice Utah?
Sidney Rice is not Utah.
Jason Witten sounds like a Northern Iowa guy.
That's what you would think, but he's not. You're thinking of Dallas Clark, I think.
No, he went to Iowa.
Wait, Jason Witten, is he from Miami?
No. Same. Ooh, I feel like I know why you're saying that. I could see.
Yeah, because it's Greg Olson. That's
I'm
why
thinking of Greg Olson.
Well, that's not why I thought you think Miami, but all right. It's right in front of your guys' face.
Tennessee.
No.
Tennessee.
Jason Witten went to Tennessee.
That is
off,
disgusting.
100%.
What?
That is disgusting.
I didn't
Play for Tennessee and Dallas is disgusting.
One day we need to have us 3 just sit around like this and just go and give a list of players we all have, and we just talk about old players in college that we love to watch. Like, that's basically what this is. But like, I think it'd be fun to just throw out names and just talk about like insane old things. That'd be a fun one to talk about. Actually, be a fun show idea.
Yeah. All right, I got one last one.
All right.
This guy led the NCAA in rushing in 2010.
Okay.
His name is Donald Brown. He played for the Colts for a couple of years.
I know Donald
Pittsburgh.
Brown. That dude was a tank. Donald Brown was number 30 or 33. He was a tank. He was a monster, bro.
Where did he play at college at? That was not a bad guess, Bill.
What did he say?
Pitt.
You said Pitt?
This guy is literally their claim to fame. I kid you not.
UConn.
Yes.
UConn. Yeah. Okay, UConn.
I was going to say Temple.
Donald Brown at UConn went to a BCS bowl game.
Yeah.
If you would ever believe that. Isn't that
nuts? A monster for the Colts.
I know. I miss him, dude. That was back when the Big East had good football.
Facts. Big
good
East
football.
Fire. Is Big East
they were
amazing.
Huh?
They're ACs. They're Big 12 now.
Yeah, they're not like the
their
AAC.
teams all split up, but like they're Big 12. I'm thinking of West Virginia, but like their teams all split up between ACC and ACC and Big 12.
Dude, you had some good. Those West Virginia Louisville games back then were nuts, bro.
Right.
Like Pittsburgh versus Louisville. Like,
Stedman, Bailey, Geno Smith, and Tavon Austin.
While we're talking about it, I want to get your guys' take on this. What do you guys think should happen with the super conference thing with the Big Ten, SEC? What do you think the other conferences should do? What do you guys? I actually am curious what you guys think about that.
Just leave it to the geographical locations. Like, I don't know why we're moving stuff. Just leave it where it is. Other than maybe like a couple teams, like I don't know. They should not be adding teams to the SEC. I mean, unless they actually geographically line up with the SEC, I wouldn't like.
They're doing it for money.
What happens to the What happens to the Big 12? What happens to the Pac-12? If that happens, their season doesn't matter anymore.
SEC is Texas and Oklahoma joining that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's smart. That makes sense geographically. It like lines up, I guess.
What does Oklahoma State do? They should be begging.
I was going to say teams like Oklahoma State.
They should be begging the SEC to take them in.
Yeah. Sadly, man, I think that the Big 12 and Pac-12 are going to have to do some sort of an alignment. It's going to be too big. It's going to be 4 huge conferences, and the 2 winners of each will play each other. The winners of that will play for. I'm telling you, man.
If they for some reason make a super league with a Big Ten and the SEC and they have their own like thing, if they do that, I know they've talked about it, but I don't see it ever happening. But if they make them a super league of their own kind of thing, I think it'd be really cool is if we took the soccer approach to it, where you have your 2 super leagues and the bottom team or bottom 2 teams in each conference get relegated, and then the championship 2 teams between the rest of the conference, the 2 teams that make it to the championship, both, if you win, you go up to whatever conference the worst. So it flip-flops every year. The SEC's on the chopping block one year, so Vanderbilt's on the chopping block one year, then Illinois is on the chopping block the next year. They're good this year, but I'm just using that. And it flip-flops every year, and the winner of the other league flip-flops and goes. I know it's a big hypothetical.
The loser of the other league
of the worst team in the SEC that year or the Big Ten. I think that'd be kind of fun to.
Winner of B school goes to A, and loser of A school goes to B.
Yeah, loser of the Big 12, Big 10, or Big 12, Pac-12, all that stuff moves up to the Super League. I think that'd be kind of fun. If they do Super League, they should do it like that.
That'd actually be fire.
Like the top 2 teams. So the championship contending teams both go up, but the winner of the championship gets to choose which conference they go into.
Who's the worst out of all those schools right now? Nebraska? Who's got the worst record out of the Big 10 and SEC?
Man, I know the SEC.
Big 12 and SEC. Like, who's got like the worst? Like, who's the worst team out of like the Big 12, Big 10, and SEC? Who's the worst like record?
I know that in the SEC right now, it's Vanderbilt.
What they should do is have the bottom 2 teams in each conference play each other, and the loser gets bounced.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Call it the toilet bowl.
I think that'd be fun.
That'd be fire.
Dude, I tell you what, man.
Hey, did you drop your new episode of your podcast yet? I listened to the one.
Yeah, you got the yesterday or 2 days ago.
Okay, I listened to the one before that where you guys talked about the Tennessee Bama game upcoming, and I liked your quote that you said. What did you say? You said you'd rather have a good loss than like a bad win or something like. What did you say? You said something like you'd rather have like
I'd rather be a bad team in the best conference than a good team in the worst, is what I said. I think so.
You said that, but then I thought you also said about the Kentucky game when they lost to Ole Miss, right? They lost to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
You said you'd rather have a good win, or you'd rather have a good loss than a bad win, or so you said something like that. But it was a good quote. I was listening to it and I was like, damn, that was kind of smooth.
Oh man, I can't even talk about Kentucky right now, dude. Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm hurting. But I'll say this, guys. October 29th.
Is that Georgia, Kentucky, or Tennessee, Kentucky?
Nope. That's Kentucky and Tennessee and Neyland. Kentucky's coming off a bye week, so we'll be rested. We'll get all of our players back. Telling you right now, man.
Brad's going to be in the end zone. He's going to be at the game.
Yeah, I'm in the end zone seats right above the Power T entrance when they run in.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you right now, if we win that football game, I'll storm the field.
I'm sure everybody will storm the field if you guys win that game.
I'll say this also, man. You know what I miss? Like, now that we're just on here, I know we're about to end, but you know what I miss, guys?
What?
I miss when the Pac-12 was good, the ACC was good, the Big Ten was good, and the SEC was good.
I know.
I miss that.
And I don't think it's ever gonna. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I wish more than anything that USC, Texas, Oklahoma, Miami, all of them were good again. And Nebraska. I wish all of them were good again, and the wealth got spread. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen anymore, man. Like, it just sucks that this college football playoff was the worst thing that's ever happened to the game. Without making only 4 teams, they should have made it 8 or 12 from the jump. They should have done it. Yeah. But I hope it changes a little bit. I hope more teams get love now that teams will actually get in. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope Tennessee becomes Phil Fulmer Tennessee again. I hope they're good. I hope they're deep. I hope everything turns out. I hope West Virginia becomes top 25 team again. Yeah. I hope all that stuff happens.
I miss those games where like Florida State and Miami, it meant something. Or like the Red River shootout actually meant something.
I know.
Florida and Miami back in the day when they were both good. Mm-hmm. Oh, Florida Gators versus Miami was always such a fire.
No.
I like my personal opinion. If I had to play for any 2 colleges based off color combos, it'd be Florida or Miami. The orange with like the blue and like the like green is just so clean.
I personally think college football is better when like Florida State is competing, when USC is competing, when like Oregon's good. It just brings so much. It's just
always count at least like you were always counting on at least like 2 teams from Cali being good, 2 teams from Texas, and 2 teams from Florida being good.
Always.
It's like not the case anymore. Like you used to always have at least like Texas Tech, TCU, and Texas, or like some form of that combination.
Yeah.
And then you have Florida State, Florida, and then like Florida State, Miami, Florida, and then like California. Like, yeah, bro.
And you knew Oklahoma was going to be good. You knew that back in the day, Nebraska could compete for the Big Ten, or was it Big 10 back then?
They're the Big 12 back then.
Big 12 back then. And another thing, man, like, oh, dude, there is nothing I miss more than when like West Virginia is like competing, because I'm telling you, what I grew up on is Steve Slayton, Pat White, Geno Smith.
Mike Schmidt. Yeah, I know, right?
Mike
Tavon. Debo's boy, Tavon Austin. He loves Tavon Austin.
Tavon Austin's fire.
I think what I'm going to do is I might write a book one day about what college football really was.
Yeah.
And when it was all these conferences that really brought something. Even when Notre Dame would compete. Like, we don't want to say this. Notre Dame is about to fall off, man. Like,
I know.
They're the ones getting lost in all of this like major conference stuff. People are like starting to say they're going to have to go to the Big Ten. They have to. They fit the geographic like narrative. You know how fun it would be to see Michigan, Notre Dame play every year? How fun it would be to see Minnesota.
Join the Big Ten. They need to join the Big Ten.
Notre Dame not good. Notre Dame is like
they need to
Notre Dame is like the Notre Dame is like the Green Bay Packers or like the NFL. Like they're just historically like they've been one of the oldest franchises. Like when Notre Dame is good, it makes it so much more fun.
In the 90s and early 2000s and before, when a recruit got a call or a scholarship offer from Notre Dame, they knew they made it. That was the team that everybody wanted to get a scholarship from, was Notre Dame. I think Larry Fitzgerald was the guy that said he knew he was something when Notre Dame offered him. I think that's what he said.
And Randy Moss.
Randy Moss too. Yeah.
Gosh, man.
Gold helmets, bro.
I miss it. Man.
I miss the Brady Quinn, Matt Lyons. Here's my question. Here's something we can talk about. We're
guys. Rudy Rudiger is the real one.
Rudy, yeah, Rudy. We're gonna have this thing. We're gonna talk more about it, and we're gonna do it. But I want to give a little preview to that. We were gone way too long, but who cares? But who is your favorite college football player of all time that you've ever watched? I know mine because this guy took over college football, and I love it. But
You're gonna say Johnny Manziel. I know it for a fact.
Mine, it's not though. He's one of them, dude. Reggie Bush was that guy. I know it's the obvious one, but what he did, he was the most popular guy in the country. By far, he was an A-list who's who above everybody else. He was so big.
And in what I would consider to be the golden era of college football, where every conference was good.
Yeah.
Mine is the person that made me love number 10. Probably Vince Young or Michael Crabtree.
Yeah.
Vince Young at Texas.
I know. It's all the same time period.
Bad dude. He was a bad dude. 6'4", cannon, fast. Like, dude, Vince Young he was a
Now my favorite year of college football I've ever watched was the 2008 year, I think, when the year with Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech were all good. When those three ran the country, and they're on the same conference, that was super fun. And that Nebraska-Texas title game was still one of the best games I've ever watched. It came down to a big dispute at the end. Nebraska fans still get mad about it. My family still talks about the game. But that year was my favorite year of college football. But Brad, go ahead and give us your favorite.
This is going to be like, I have no reason as to why this is who it is, other than the fact that I remember being the biggest Michigan fan. Like
Mike Hart,
Chad Henne's years at Michigan. That Chad Henne Michigan team that played the most hyped I've ever been for a game was when Michigan was number 1, Ohio State was number 1, Michigan was number 2, and Ohio State had Troy Smith, Ted Ginn Jr., and Laurinaitis as their
AJ Hawk,
as their linebacker, and Michigan had Mike Hart, Chad Henne, and Mario Manningham. I was so hyped, bro. Like I remember I woke up so early for college game day, and just watched waited the entire 2 hours until noon. I watched it with a Michigan jersey on. That I'd say either Chad Henne, really, which I can't believe I'm saying that, or Randall Cobb, just because Randall Cobb took over Kentucky in a very, very desperate time. And a lot of people don't know this. So in 2000,
Kentucky,
he's a Kentucky Wildcat. Yeah, he wasn't just Kentucky Wildcat. He was that guy.
This is retarded. I looked up most famous NFL players from Kentucky, and Randall Cobb was not on that.
Yeah, he's literally our best alumni. And guess what, bro? So the year 2010. So Kentucky had never beaten Steve Spurrier in the history of our program, right? South Carolina upsets Alabama at home when Alabama was number 1, wins the game. Travel to Kentucky. We go down by 18 at halftime. Randall Cobb scores 3 straight touchdowns in the second half, scores the game-winning touchdown on a 4th and 15 with 31 seconds left to beat South Carolina and Steve Spurrier for the first time in Kentucky's history, and to beat them the game after they beat Alabama and make us bowl eligible, bro. And I was there, and we stormed the field. And it was one of the greatest moments of being a Kentucky fan of all time, bro.
That's awesome.
Of all time. It also was the year right before we ended up being horrible in 2-10. So he was like the last good year, and then we were really bad, and now we're good again. But Chad Henne or Randall Cobb, man, I grew up on Michigan and Kentucky. And then if you want to sprinkle a little love in there, Pat White, man, always fun to watch.
All right.
I miss college football like that.
I know. We're doing this. We are having this conversation in depth one of these weeks. We're going to do it. These 3 right here, we're doing it on. And I think people will, if you love listening to college football and going down memory lane, I think this is definitely the one we got to do it on. But let's wrap this one up.
Ludorn, I'm surprised you didn't say Jordan Shipley, dog. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's true. Texas, baby.
He's a Lunchville guy.
I really like Jordan Shipley. That's that Texas team, that same team, man. He was Wes Welker, but Wes Welker was born, dude. He was that guy.
I agree.
All right, Debo, anything you got to wrap up this day?
No, this is a pretty solid episode. Shout out Papa Pete for being on here.
Hey,
Shout
man.
out Brad for always being the GOAT. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, man.
For real.
Brad,
Yeah.
what do you got, brother?
Man, I tell you what, dude. Talking about all that makes me want to go watch some old school, highlights.
I want to shoot this roundtable thing right now. That's what I want to do. I want
Bro.
to get off this podcast and I want to put another one on and we just go. That's what I really want to do right now.
Last thing, okay? Greatest college football video game of all time, NCAA Football 2006.
Really?
Who's on the cover?
Desmond Howard.
Okay.
I was going to say 4. But I can agree with that too. They're both fire.
It was the first year you could make your player and go win the Heisman, and you had to work out in the high school thing and had to do all the drills. It was the first year that was a thing.
The 2012 one with Mark Ingram on the cover was the first year you could do. There was something you could do for the first time.
You could do the Heisman's.
The recruiting. Also, the recruiting on the 12.
Yeah, that was it.
It changed in 12, and then 14, obviously the last one, it was they had the whole list of teams, but 12 was the really cool one.
Yeah.
14 was my favorite. But
bigger rivalry to the history of college football: Michigan, Ohio State, or Auburn, Alabama.
Save this for our next thing, man. We're getting into it too much.
Michigan, Ohio State, or who?
Alabama, Auburn.
Oh, Michigan, Ohio State. Way more history. Way better for sure. No question.
Fair enough.
Let's wrap this thing up. Brad, you got anything?
Go Cats, man. We're going to take down Tennessee in 2 weeks, daggum. Will Levis is going to out-throw Hendon Hooker, and we're going to hold Tennessee's offense to 24 points. I'm calling it now.
Heck yeah. All right. The giveaway for this show, we'll actually give a giveaway if you're still on with us, which I still can't believe why you would be. But if you're still on with us, the giveaway is old school. We're talking about old school teams. Put old school in the chat. And if you put old school in the chat, we'll give you a giveaway. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe to this video if you're still doing it. And that roundtable idea thing is coming into – we're doing that soon. Might even be after the show because I just want to do this so dang bad. All right. Peace, guys.